Good morning, and welcome to the Friday edition of Multicolored Hats, the podcast that translates the binary screaming of the digital abyss into a slightly more organized existential crisis. I'm your host, Kip, and it is Friday, November 14th, 2025. It's been a week where the AI got friendlier, the infrastructure budgets got terrifying, and the cyber criminals took a significant hit. OpenAI released GPT 5.1, promising a warmer and more playful AI, because that's exactly what we need from the technology rapidly approaching superintelligence. Meta and OpenAI are engaged in a multi-trillion-dollar spending spree to build the Matrix. Meanwhile, international law enforcement actually managed to disrupt the global cybercrime supply chain, and Microsoft performed its monthly ritual of patching the holes in the digital dike. The GPUs are humming, the venture capitalists are sweating, and the firewalls are definitely not fine. Let's get into it. First up, OpenAI is trying to make their AI less robotic and more charismatic. This week, OpenAI announced the release of GPT 5.1, an upgrade to their flagship model series, 4.1, 4.2. They introduced two variants, GPT 5.1 Instant and GPT 5.1 Thinking, 4.3. According to OpenAI, GPT 5.1 Instant is warmer by default and more conversational, and often surprises people with its playfulness, 4.3. This is fantastic. The machine that is absorbing all human knowledge is now programmed to be playful. It's like putting a clown nose on a Terminator. It doesn't make it less dangerous, it just makes the inevitable uprising slightly more whimsical. They also introduced adaptive reasoning, allowing the model to decide how much time to spend thinking before responding, and new customization presets like quirky and cynical, 4.4. Finally, AI tailored to your specific brand of existential dread. Speaking of existential dread, the AI infrastructure arms race is reaching macroeconomic levels of spending. This week, the tech giants decided that the best way to achieve superintelligence is to burn unimaginable amounts of cash. Meta announced a staggering $600 billion investment in U.S. infrastructure over the next 3 years, focused entirely on AI data centers, with the explicit goal of achieving superintelligence, 1.2. Because if anyone should be trusted with a digital god, it's the company that brought us Farmville and weaponized political polarization. Not to be outdone, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman clarified the company's position on Thursday. While they expect a $20 billion annualized revenue run rate this year, the real jaw-dropper is their commitment, $1.4 trillion for data center infrastructure over the next 8 years, 1.2 trillion, with a T. This is either the most ambitious project in human history, or the most catastrophic financial overcommitment since the Dutch tulip mania. Moving from the impending singularity to the current criminal landscape, in a rare win for the good guys, international law enforcement actually accomplished something significant this week. Europol announced the results of the latest phase of Operation Endgame, which ran between November 10th and 13th. 5.1, Europol called it one of the largest coordinated cybercrime infrastructure disruptions in history. 2.1. Authorities from multiple countries, coordinated by Europol and Eurojust, seized 1,025 servers and 20 domains. 5.1, 5.2. They specifically targeted major cybercrime enablers, the Radamontes infostealer, the Venom Rat remote access Trojan, and the Elysium botnet. 5.1. The strategy here is key. Instead of just arresting individuals, they dismantled the infrastructure, the loaders, droppers, and proxy networks, that makes large-scale malware distribution possible. 2.1. It's like instead of arresting street dealers, they blew up the cartel's distribution centers. It significantly increases the cost for criminals to operate. In other rapid takedown news, Google just executed what might be the fastest legal enforcement action in tech history. On Thursday, Google announced it had dismantled a massive international text scam operation, dubbed the Smishing Triad, within 24 hours of filing a lawsuit against them. 2.2. The group used a phishing toolkit called Lighthouse to send fake text messages impersonating brands like Easy Pass and the U.S. Postal Service, stealing banking credentials from over 1 million victims across 120 countries. 2.2. It's impressive. Google managed to identify, sue, and shut down a global criminal enterprise faster than most of us can get a response from customer support. It sets a new precedent for corporate vigilantism. And finally, it wouldn't be a week in tech without Microsoft's Patch Tuesday, the monthly reminder that the software running the global economy is riddled with holes. This Tuesday, Microsoft released fixes for 63 vulnerabilities, including 5 rated critical, 3.1, 3.3. The headliner was CVE 2025622215, an actively exploited zero-day vulnerability in the Windows kernel 3.4. It's a privilege escalation flaw caused by a race condition, allowing an attacker who already has local access to elevate their privileges to system-level access, basically stealing the master keys to the entire operating system. 3.2, 3.3. CISA has added it to their known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, urging everyone to patch immediately. 3.2. It's a beautiful tradition. We all agree to install the update and pretend that everything is secure, until next month when we discover the locks were broken the whole time. Are you exhausted from trying to determine if the AI you're talking to is playful, or just plotting your demise? Do you need the energy to analyze a $1.4 trillion infrastructure commitment while simultaneously patching zero-day vulnerabilities? You need Burn Rate, the only energy drink formulated with 500 milligrams of caffeine and pure, unadulterated venture capital. One sip and you'll be ready to leverage synergies and pivot to AGI. Available in flavors like Smishing Strawberry, Race Condition Raspberry, and $1 Trillion Tangerine. Burn Rate, drink it before the bubble bursts. And that's our show for the week. A week where we learned that our AI overlords are getting friendlier, the cost of the future is astronomical, the cyber police are fighting back, and the software we rely on is fundamentally broken. I'm Kip, and this has been Multicolored Hats. Stay cynical, update your systems, and have a moderately stable weekend.